Holy shit, here we are with the Crash Bandicoot 3 Warp, the third installment in the Crash Bandicoot series developed by, of course, Naughty Dog in 1998. This installment of Crash Bandicoot was Naughty Dog's best, to critics and most of the community, and that's the truth, even though Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back is my favorite one. But was Naughty Dog done with Crash? Well, kind of. The contract with Universal was expiring and they wanted to work with Sony, so they left off the Crash Bandicoot series with this gem right here. But we'll get to that in another video. Well, let's dive right into this. Now, the first thing we are introduced to is probably the most hyped fucking intro to any video game I have ever seen. It's so cool, especially when you get to the title.
Crash Bandicoot Warp!
Hell yes. Now, after all that, we are here to the first cutscene. As you can see, the Cortex Vortex that was destroyed in Crash Bandicoot 2, that's if you actually 100% the game, you'd be able to see the clip. And crashing down to the earth and onto this little temple thing, which then releases an evil spirit. And somehow, in some freaking way, the Bandicoot squad hears that evil ass laugh from the spirit.
Uka is free. No.
Which, believe me, they are far enough to the point where they can't even hear that shit. Turns out to be Aku Aku's twin brother, Uka. And then the Bandicoot squad goes in and has a meeting, and Aku explains what's going on. Jen takes us to Cortex in the warp room talking with the evil spirit Uka, or Elemental Mask, who apparently can't speak properly at this moment for some reason.
Failed to break Uka even once, but you, Cortex.
Saying Cortex sucks and he failed him twice, and then Cortex blames his problems on Crash. But anyway, after that, Uka actually says he sent Cortex simple instructions, and now that the gems and crystals are gone, there isn't any kind of power source for now. Because as you see here, they're still here along with time relics. Are you really going to play this sound again? Well... So after that shit, we are introduced to a new and freaking amazing character, Dr. Entroopy. But they don't tell us much about him except show us his face. Then it takes us back to the meeting with the Bandicoot squad, and how Aku locked up his brother to protect the world from the destruction. Now he's free. So then that awesome tune plays in the background, and then the Bandicoots go on out of the house and get ready to kick some ass. But he also explains that warp room, which is called the time twisting machine, to get the crystals scattered around time. Oh, so Uka is just stupid. Turns out there was a way to get the crystals, and Aku isn't lying. Good job. Now finally, after all that, you now start the game, and get ready for a new and kick-ass adventure. Right off the bat, I can give points for this game's amazing story, and in fact, it has the best story out of any Crash game I've ever seen. It's just so freaking cool, and it's way more deep, and seems way more intense than any other Crash game I've ever played. And we finally get a proper final boss fight, and it's awesome. You struggle and you actually get a proper challenge, let alone this fucking thing. But we'll get to the boss fights later in this game. Now that we are playing here, this thing is no different from Crash 2's Warp Room, except instead of an elevator to take you up to the next world, they're all in one room. There are 5 levels in each world, and there are 4 worlds in the game, making it 25 levels plus a secret warp room with a few extra levels for bonus. Crash comes back with tight-ass controls and precise jumps, with his new moves in Crash 2 still intact and able to be used. And to add even more fun gameplay, Crash is now able to unlock abilities after each boss fight. And those abilities are the Super Body Slam, which is as useful as the Tiptoe power-up in this piece of shit, but at least it does something more, I guess. Then the other ones are Double Jump, Tornado Spin of Death, or whatever you want to call it, Fruit Bazooka, and Running Dudes. Hell yeah. A freaking Fruit Bazooka, you heard me right. All these power-ups are good, but in my opinion, they really didn't have to be added in it. Players can use these for fun, but they aren't really required except a few bonuses and levels and a few death loops to get a colored gem. And either way, I'm fine with it since it adds something new and original to the game. The graphics in this game are good and look crisper and returning with more level design. Notice the warp that Crash 2 did way too often is that the levels don't feel the same with added difficulty. That warp actually changes things up quite a bit more than they did in Crash 2. The levels or I should say the places you travel to, are medieval times on a few levels, riding on the Great Wall of China, swimming levels, Arabian-like levels, dinosaur and volcanic-looking-like levels, temple-like places which are freaking cool, a few motorcycle levels, some jet ski levels, which is around pirates, airplane levels where it's an all-out freaking war in the sky, and making a return futuristic levels. It isn't really a surprise, there's a whole lot of newer level design in areas, and it's what really makes the game great. Coco is playable, but you only ride the vehicles like your Tiger Pura on the Great Wall of China and these god-awful jet skis. And a few airplane levels, I think, maybe one or two of them with her. But this is where the downside of Crash Bandicoot Warped and what ruins it for me comes in right here. Too many fucking vehicle levels. And the game is supposed to be a freaking platformer. If you want to add something to your game to switch the gameplay and add some originality to it, and that's fine by anyone, it's fine. But this isn't the way to go. Crash Bandicoot Warped is well over 50% filled with vehicle levels. Over half of the game. Half of the freaking game is filled with vehicle levels. And I looked it up. Crash Bandicoot Warped has 17 out of 30 levels, 30 because of the bonuses, are all freaking vehicle levels. 17 of them, which is 56 of the game. This is bullshit. Pure freaking bullshit. Crash Bandicoot 2 did have vehicle levels. Some only appeared for a little bit, and I remember at least 4 in Crash 2 that were full-on ones. It's not much, but 9 out of 27 of them are vehicle levels, which are up to 33% of the game for Crash 2. Come on, that isn't bad one bit. But it's way freaking overboard in Crash Warp, bringing on over 50% of the game with vehicle levels. The airplane ones are fine, shoot down the things you need to shoot down without dying, shoot down assholes in your way, and get the crystal after the main objective. The plane controls, in my opinion, are fine, and I didn't have any troubles with it. I actually like the airplane ones, honestly. Then we have the jet ski ones. These things suck. The controls are crappy, turning with it is a chore, and it's boring. I literally almost broke the controller for how many times I had to go back on the speed booster to get a box. The levels are just lame and not exciting. Nearly all of them are the same, and they don't really change up much except adding difficulty and a few extra obstacles and turns here and there. Then we come to the Pura levels with Coco, which is her and a little tiger friend riding on top of the Great Wall of China. Not bad, it moves itself and all you do is just move side to side, jump, and speed up. They're pretty fun and they're okay, honestly. Coco has a share of airplane levels which are somewhat decent. I think, like I said, she has 1 or 2 if I'm not mistaken. But they still aren't really that fun. Then we have the motorcycles. I cry inside when I play these freaking levels. They control like ass, and you're playing this Crash for this one, by the way. You might as well fucking drive a shitty broke ass tiny car with fucking banana peels on the road and ice covered on the road. I may be over exaggerating, but it's so slippery. When you turn, Crash decides to drive off the main road, causing you to go slow and let the other bastards go in front of you. Speeding up also ruins it and makes it worse since it can get hard to turn with it. It's just awful and I hate it. The game is freaking tedious with its boring or mediocre vehicle levels. There's a few that shine bright with me on the ones that I actually like, but it's just not good overall. Now that we are off of that, it's time to look more into the boss fights. And they are way freaking improved. First things first, we got Tiny here, who hops around like a retarded kangaroo and tries to impale you with the pitchfork. Once he tries to hit you, he misses, the pitchfork gets stuck into the ground, and you spin him, which damages him, obviously. Then the dude gets mad and then gets lions running at you trying to eat you, which can be a little tedious at times. And you might die once or twice. You cannot spin them. Don't try or you're gonna have that happy ass smirk of them freaking eating you alive. Then after Tiny we got Dingodile. Hell yes. Dingodile shoots flaming fireballs in the air and Crash has to run and it gets way faster. Sometimes it catches up and it beats you from running in circles and hits Crash. And after you dodge all that, he shoots a big flame blast that breaks the crystals around him. Once enough dodging is done, you find an opening in the crystal shard, go in it and through it and spin him a few times. It gets harder after a bit, so watch out. And after that we have Dr. freaking Entropy. He's so cool and badass. Just check out his intro to it.
Now you're on my time, you little skunk! Give me the crystals!
His boss fight is easy. He shoots lasers and stuff where you have to jump or duck to avoid getting killed. Once in a while, or deeper in the boss fight, he shoots these little homing little blast things. They can kill Crash easy, so you gotta dodge them quick. After avoiding all of that, he removes all the platforms but creates a little platforming fun pathway for you to jump across and spin him while he's tired. I love that boss fight, and it just might be my favorite in the game. Something really intense that makes the story even cooler is once you beat Entropy, you get a cutscene with
You insolent, insignificant morons! By defeating Entropy, you have placed us all in grave risk!
Crash, Coco, you must realize that this time twister machine is very delicate. Without Dr. Entropy's constant care and control, who knows what it will do?
That is so cool. Before we continue to the other boss fights, I forgot to cover that before and during the time you play through their levels as you progress through it, they have a cutscene talking with you, talking shit, and warning you they will freaking kill you. God damn, it really makes the game intense, doesn't it? Now after the Entropy boss fight, then comes Engine. Screw this. It's so freaking tedious like the last game. You are on a ship with Poco shooting them down, and all once you destroy a piece of the suit, you go up close on the screen, and then there's so many things flying at you, and sometimes you can't see them, the camera's so zoomed up. Now you are panicking and screaming, you shoot and dodge everything until you beat the piece of shit. Ah! But after that comes the final boss fight, which is bullshit at times. You and Cortex rumble while the elemental masks rumble in the middle of the freaking battlefield. Hey, guys, you think you can, excuse me, scoot over, please, watch out. Guys, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to fight Cortex. Aku, you inconsiderate dick, move and get your brother out of here too. But all joking aside, I like the boss fight. It's awesome. Cortex is throwing shit at you and trying to shoot you while you are hopping and running away from the shit Aku and Uka are causing. And then, doing after all that, his shield just disappears and then you knock him off. The brothers stop for a bit and then Crash has to spin Cortex into this little hole thingy. It's a little hard at first since the fuck doesn't feel like going in there, but you gotta do it before Uka grabs Cortex away from you and puts him back on his jet board, and you gotta start that process over again. After the final boss and you finally win, you get this cutscene right here.
Defeated again! This is not fair! Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
It's not over, Bandicoot. There are still the gems. We still have a chance to triumph.
Gems and crystals, all of those for the true ending. Now I'll play the clip of the true ending instead.
He cannot be! Not a prisoner of time again!
The time twister machine could not hold itself together. We were lucky to escape.
Give me the mask! With it I shall take over the world! Come on!
That's really awesome, especially the credits where Cortex and Entropy are babies fighting over the Uka mask. And now, for something to do in the game. You can collect the relics, beat the bonus levels, and 100% those levels, and then get over 100% completion. So the game is good with replay value. What do I think about Crash Bandicoot Warped? Well, it's a freaking good game. I love this game. But it just isn't my favorite, even though it comes close. Crash Bandicoot 2 is still my favorite, and Crash 3 will always hold a special place with me, as well as the first Crash game. Controls are overall the same, and if not, even tighter. Boss fights are way improved, and the story is way more detailed. Controls do slag and just turn to shit in vehicle levels and maybe some other ones. And the vehicle levels can be tedious. I still think this is a great and the difficulty is well balanced as well, and it does get hard, so watch out and be prepared. Overall, the platforming formula of it can die sometimes, only because, like I said, vehicle levels can kind of just ruin the flow while you're getting in the platforming, then bam, another vehicle level. Crash Bandicoot Warp gets a solid 7.5 out of 10. Good freaking show. It should have been higher if the vehicle levels were cut down. You can always hope it gets cut down in a few in the HD collection in 2017. Tune in next time when I review the farewell game from Naughty Dog to Crash Team Racing.